Hello everybody, Brad the Guitarologist here. In this video I'm going to take the heatsink from a recently deceased laptop computer and we're going to turn this into a personal air conditioning unit for use outdoors in the heat of the summertime. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stick around. The fan in this heatsink is a DC 5-volt fan, so we're going to use 3 D-size batteries, which will give us 4.5 volts, which should be enough to get this thing spinning around. Alright, another thing I will mention is that I'm not going to buy anything for this project. This is just a time waster, and I'm not trying to spend any money here or do anything elaborate. I'm just trying to, find something to do while bored. So, dug around in the kitchen cabinets and found this container. Every time I order Chinese, I get something like this, and I tend to save these instead of throw them away because they're actually made of pretty good plastic. This one we're going to kind of destroy for this project. Or at least the lid we will. The plan is to create a slit in this lid and then fit the heat sink down inside of there, and we're going to try to tie our batteries onto this thing so it's all one big compact unit. So let's get to it. Although I'm using stuff from around my house, you may not have things like this, so I will put a link down in the description if you're looking for battery holders such as this. These are kind of cool because they have little holes in them through which you can thread some zip ties. And what we're going to do is we're going to zip tie these to this container, and we're going to put a little bit of glue to hold them in place as well. But again, I will put links down in the description if you want to find some of these. Alright, here as you can see, we've zip tied our battery holders together, and we're going to zip tie them around this. So we turned it upside down for the moment, and turn these upside down as well. And we'll cinch these up and then glue them into place so they won't slide down. Alright, I got the battery holders zip tied to the container. Now we're going to cut the excess off and shoot some dabs of glue on here to keep this from sliding down. Okay, so one more thing you're going to need for this project, if you don't already have one, is a hot glue gun and some hot glue sticks. Okay, here we are with the hot glue liberally applied. Alright, now let's turn our attention to the lid. What we're going to do is we're going to create a slit in this lid that we can insert this heatsink in and out of. Okay, we've cut our slit in the lid, we've inserted our heatsink, and we have secured the breech with copious amounts of hot glue all around. Right, let's turn our attention back to the electronics, and we will wire up our power. For this part, you're going to need some wire, of course. You're going to need some clippers, and you're also going to need some wire strippers. So that will allow you to wire this up in series. What you want to do is you want to start with an input, so we'll call this the positive end, and that will go into the positive end of this first battery. We'll come out of the negative end, and we'll go to the positive of the next battery, come out of the negative of this battery, and go, of course, to the positive of the next one. And then from the negative here, we're going to use this red wire to go to the negative side of the fan. And the positive end, of course, will go to the positive side of the fan. Now let's go ahead and solder these wires into place, and for that, of course, you're going to need some kind of soldering iron and solder. You can use something like a soldering gun, which you see here. You can also use a soldering iron, which is something more like this, but you're going to need something to solder if you don't already have a means to do that. Okay, so the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray, and this is one of those instances. Plugged the 3 batteries that I had into the fan, and it does work, but it goes a little bit and then kind of stops, and then goes a little bit more and stops, and goes a little bit more and stops. So I'm going to add another battery, which will give us 6 volts instead of 4.5 volts, and we'll see how that does. Alright, I got an extra battery hooked up for a total of 4 batteries and 6 volts, and we have motion, and continuous motion at that, on our fan. Alright, finally we're going to get one of these chiropractic massage cold packs and stuff it inside. We could also use ice, but I'm out of ice, so we'll stick with this. Now we're going to fill it up with water. Okay, our contraption is complete, and now it's time to enjoy some nice, cool, fresh air and look absolutely ridiculous doing it.